Mikel, thank you so much for talking to us. First of all, give me an assessment of your Arsenal career. You've had to hit the ground running. I'm sure it's not the result you wanted to take into this international break, but as a whole, how would you assess it?
Well, going 10 or 11 months back since I joined, obviously the amount of things that had happened has been incredible. A lot of unpredictable things that we have to be managing. Overall, I'm really happy for the opportunity that I've been given, for what we are trying to build here, the way we end up last season. And this season has been pretty challenging from all parts. First of all, with the situation that we still have without our fans, with the coronavirus, without any preseason, and being a little bit inconsistent. I think we've played 14 competitive matches, counting the Community Shield again against Liverpool. We won 10 and lost 4. So yeah, in the Premier League, even if the fixtures they've been complicated, I think we should have more points. But the reality is the last game left a really bad taste, the way we lost against Villa with the performance that we had in the last 30 minutes, I would say.
Would you rather have the time you have now to look over that, or would you have rather had a game straight after it?
I just wanted a game the next morning. When you have that feeling that we lost it a little bit as a team, when we didn't reveal ourselves against a difficult result for whatever the reason is, because the opponent is better on the day, or because individually you're not performing, or whatever the reason is, you want to take revenge straight away. But as well, now it was time to think, to reflect, to be critical with the things that we can improve. I think you are always tempted after a bad result to want to change everything you do. And I think that's a really bad temptation as well, because a lot of things that are actually working, but very clear on the things that we have to improve and how we're going to improve them.
Can I take your mind back to 4 games into your Arsenal career as coach, and you were drawn against Leeds United in the FA Cup? Why was that poignant to you?
Well, I knew, wow, what a game we're going to be facing. I've been following Marcelo for many years. We have some friends in common, some players that they've been really attached to him over their careers. And I have a lot of information, how he works, how he makes his teams play, and what his thoughts are behind the game. And when you face one of Marcelo's teams, that is going to be so intense, so difficult, and you have to be really, really prepared to face that type of opponent. And we experienced it. We had 2 really different halves. The first half, where it was a shock, I think, for our players just to live that experience against them, and the second half, where we were much better and we ended up winning the game.
Can you tell us, those 2 people, I think the 2 people you're referring to, was Pochettino, who you wrote in the Arsenal programme notes as a player, was a father to you in the Paris Saint-Germain dressing room when he was your captain, and of course, Pep Guardiola. What did they tell you that made such an impression on you about Bielsa in your career?
All positive and incredible things. First, his work rate, the amount of hours that he puts in, the details, and the people is going to around him to support, help, and always evolve his ideas. And then who he is as a person. And that's all really well respected by everybody that works alongside him. Afterwards, he has a unique way, I think, of training, of putting things together and making a team play the way that every single player believes in what they have to do. And even if it's difficult and challenging, they still do it. I admire him. He's got a really challenging career, but what he's managed to do without winning many trophies like any other manager, but to be able to put that stamp in football world, I think is a big merit for him.
He has some philosophies. One is to be a good man over being a good coach. How has that learning shaped you as a coach?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we are dealing with human beings. And you need to find that respect, but as well that chemistry with your players, because at the end of the day, you need them to perform for you, for the team, and for the club. And when the relationships are good, when you have that trust, when you have that empathy, I think everything is much more natural. When you are able to understand the person behind the football player, you can get much more of him. And I think he's very talented and clever at that, and that's why he's able to create the spirit amongst the team that you can see every week.
So you have been referred to as a Bielsa disciple, whether you like it or not. So I'm going to give you a test. What's more valuable, oil, gold, or time?
If I say now, it's time. I think depending in the moment of your life. Now I would say time is very consuming for all of us. We have many challenges open. And even when you have that time, your brain and your responsibility is always occupying that space, which sometimes is not fair for the people around us. But I think it's part of this industry and how passionate and this drug that we have in our veins that is called football and that we love so much.
You got so much out of your playing career. When did you know it was time to move on, and what had you already done to make sure that you made the progress into being a coach?
Well, I always said that I wanted to enjoy. I love this game so much. So the moment I wasn't enjoying that much, that I will retire. That I wasn't going to extend my career too long. And the moment I started to have injuries in the last year or so, and I could not see a reason and a motivation to carry on, I started to prepare myself. I already had really inspiring people around me that was all the time pushing me to start my path and my preparation as a coach, and I started to do that. And I was started to enjoy more that part than being the footballer, and then it just in a natural way things came up.
You are 2 points ahead of Leeds now. From that match, 4 games into your Arsenal coaching career, what have you learned, and what have you learned from the last weekend in terms of progress?
In terms of progress is that what I'm learning as well with this league in particular and the context that we are in is that I think the margins now are much smaller. I think the difference between teams has decreased, and if you are not at your best, if we are not at our best, and we do the no-negotiables 100%, we can lose and win against any opponent, and that's our reality at the moment. And in order to do that, there is no half-halves. It has to be 100% all the time, and commitment-wise and individually, we have to raise our game.
How far away is this Arsenal side from where you need and want it to be, and what's the key to getting there?
Wow, it's still very far. If I envision how I want to see the team at their best and where we are at the moment, we are in very early stages of our process. And within that process, there is a lot of things that we have been able to change, but at the same time, we have been through in the last few months through very, very important structural changes as well, that probably in the outside world they are not noticeable, but they are really big. So it's been challenging, but at the same time I think we are all re-energized and very positive about what we can do with the people that we have here at the moment. The challenge again is the opposition we are facing, probably the best opposition and teams around that has ever had the Premier League, which is incredibly nice to have and be involved in. But obviously that means that our level has to increase dramatically and very consistently in order to achieve what we want.
A question I've had to ask every coach, Arsene Wenger, then Unai, and then yourself, when at the unveiling of a new manager or at the end of Arsene's career, was about Mesut Ozil. You talked glowingly about him in your opening press conference. I work with him. I know him when he clicks, what he can bring to the team. It's my job to get the best out of him, of course. We talked about time and of getting the most out of a career. I know how much that meant to you. How much do you consider it with him, and can he find a way back into this team?
Well, everybody can't, and I think since I arrived here, if you see where some players started and where they are right now, their careers are completely changed, and they have earned that right. We give them the opportunities, and they took them. With Mesut at the moment, with the squad list, obviously he cannot be involved. I try to be as clear as possible with himself and with all the media and fans, because I think they deserve to know the reasons why. And some people would understand it, and a lot of people won't understand it because of the player he is, what he's done for the club, and what the expectations are. And the moment that you lose football matches, his name is going to come up, and when you win, it won't. I'm hurt because I don't like any players in my squad not to have the possibility to participate or to compete. For me, it's really sad because I don't think nobody deserves that. And we have a few in our squad now because of the numbers we have with foreign players. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here to make decisions, to make the decisions that, in my opinion, are the best for the football club. And this is what I have to do.